Konami and efootball recently celebrated 30 years of the Pro Evolution Soccer franchise, so I got to thinking, why don't I challenge myself to play every single PES, but if I lose, I start again. The only rules in place are that I play on the middle difficulty and the games can be only 5 minutes long. So the Pro Evolution Soccer series has had a lot of names over the 30 years that it's existed. Most people know it as Pro Evolution Soccer, and most people know that it was also called ISS Pro before that. But not many people know about Goalstorm, which is the spiritual original version of the game, and that's where we will start our climb. Playing Goalstorm offers some slight difficulty in the fact that I've never actually played this game before. But we started the challenge with an epic beginning, France versus Greece, and it looks like this game doesn't have away kits, so this could be fun. The game was full of goals, with Greece taking the lead a few times, and my France team managing to get back in it. We took the lead with a few seconds remaining, and then managed to secure a 6-4 victory to move on to ISS Pro. Our first game on ISS Pro ended up being a ball draw, and it took us all the way to penalties between Croatia and Bulgaria. But I missed one penalty, and the attempt is over already. Back to Goalstorm. Another great game on Goalstorm sees me as Argentina managing to score another late winner. And back on ISS Pro, this time I got to play as my beloved England. The game went to extra time where I took the lead. Surely this was the time to move past this game, but no, Croatia pulled level. So it's penalties again. A big save from David Seaman, but we couldn't take advantage. And once again, it was defeat on penalty kicks on ISS Pro. Back to the start again. On attempt 3, I got Scotland on Goalstorm up against Germany. Good luck to me. Germany absolutely destroyed me in this match, and I blame Scotland, not my ability. So it's attempt 4 already, and we've not even got off the second game in the franchise. And oh, God, I got Scotland again. And this time it's against France. I really need to win this one. I managed to take a shock lead. In the second half, a free kick on the edge of the box lets us take a 2-goal lead. A third goal somehow comes, and we've beaten France with Scotland. Well played to the Scottish boys. So can I finally get past ISS Pro? I've still got another 20 plus games to beat here before I complete this challenge. I pick Spain randomly to play against England. Korea leads me to my first victory on ISS Pro, and it's a chance to move on as we defeat England 3-1 thanks to his hat-trick. Finally, I move on to ISS Pro 98. The control scheme is finally one that I'm used to, as this is the game in the franchise where I began my journey with Pro Evolution Soccer. It's an all-African affair for this match, as I pick up Morocco to play against Cameroon. This one feels much easier, and maybe that's because we're back on familiar controls. And because of this, I stroll to a 2-0 victory, and we move on to ISS Pro Evolution. Now, if the last game felt familiar, then this should be like putting on an old pair of gloves, because ISS Pro Evolution was the game that I played the heck out of as a kid. I randomly pick Iran against England, which adds a bit of difficulty to this one. The old auto 1-2 system works a treat for me, and I take the lead. Second half, I play a defence splitting through ball to slide in my striker for another. A further 2 goals come, both unreal hits off the post and into the net. I'm really cooking now. ISS Pro Evolution 2 sees me end up as Egypt against Scotland. I absolutely batter them, but somehow it won't go in the goal. Shot after shot is saved. This carries on all the way through extra time, and somehow we end up at penalties. We end up in sudden death, and I miss one. Scotland score, and that feels so harsh. We're back at the start again. This challenge is going to kill me. So for attempt 5, I go back to Goalstorm, and I've got Belgium versus Argentina. And it was no contest. I hardly touched the ball. I look out this time as I get to play as Germany, and I destroy Bulgaria 3-0. Moving back to ISS Pro, I play as Belgium and cruise to a 2-0 victory over Wales. ISS Pro 98, and I'm hoping I can ease through it again. And I get to play as Sweden versus Saudi Arabia, and it results in a closely contested 2-0 win for myself. Moving up to ISS Pro Evolution, and this time I get to play as Sweden again, but it's against Scotland. I had to rely on a penalty to get me through this. So back to ISS Pro Evolution 2, can I finally move on from the PS1 era of games in this series? Well, we score a great goal in the first half, then Paraguay come into the game in the second half and push for the equaliser. They eventually get it late on and push the game into extra time. And of course, we end up at penalties again. I make the first save but then follow up with a few misses myself, and it's penalty heartbreak again on ISS Pro Evolution 2. Oh my god, it's attempt 7 now and we're back on Goalstorm. I'm getting used to Goalstorm as I hammer Nigeria 4-0 while playing as Bulgaria, this free kick being the pick of the goals. Same goes for ISS Pro as I cruise to a 3-0 win as the USA. A closer game happens on 98, but I scrape through 2-1 as Australia. Now I feel like I'm rolling as I smash Ireland 3-0 on ISS Pro Evolution. So it's time to revisit my nemesis so far in this video. ISS Pro Evolution Soccer 2 is where I keep losing. It was a nervy affair as I led Uruguay against Slovakia, but I did claim a very early goal and I had to defend that goal until the final whistle. We finally move off the PS1 games and head towards the Mainline Series, starting with Pro Evolution Soccer on the PS2. PES lets us use club teams for friendly matches and has its own randomizer, so now I don't have to close my eyes when randomly picking teams. I get Lazio, I manage to take a goal lead, which is pretty much all that happens in this game. I get really lucky in PES 2 as I get to play as Real Madrid, but I couldn't get the job done in normal time, missing many chances throughout the game. I had to rely on penalties, and it's the first time in this video where I've not lost on them. PES 3 has me randomly playing as Porto versus PSG, another game that I just sneak through, although I did have some good chances to extend my lead. On to PES 4, and unfortunately, I pick one of my rival teams. Being a Newcastle United fan, it isn't great having to play as Middlesbrough. Anyway, I dominate the game versus Blackburn, but couldn't score. Another match that goes to penalties, but I managed to win. Having to play as a rival club made me want to go back to international teams, so that's what I did when we went on to PES 5. Unfortunately, I pick China on the random draw against Switzerland, and it's a hard game. I nearly concede early on. Somehow I hang on for penalties, but the Swiss decide to miss 2, meaning I scrape through again. For PES 6, I switch over to the Xbox 360, which brings the added challenge of using the Xbox controller. See, growing up, I always played on PlayStation, and that's the pad that I prefer, just because I always used it. But for whatever reason, I could only find my Xbox 360 copy of PES 6. Trinidad. I'm not getting much luck with this random draw. A boring game once again leads to penalty, and it's a shocker. There's misses left and right. It goes to sudden death, and I managed to save. We're through to PES 2008. So this one is one that I remember well because my team, Newcastle United, were a licensed team on it. Unfortunately, it was the very same year that they were relegated from the Premier League for the first time. Anyway, I randomly picked Fiorentina and come up against Team P. Every player was just called Player. I score early on with a scrappy goal. This Team P all looked like me. Can't remember why these blank teams were in this one, but my guess is that it was so people could make their own leagues that Konami couldn't license. PES 2009 time, and I'm Mexico against Feyenoord. I score a scrappy goal in the first half, and I'm at ease for most of the game, although my keeper makes a brilliant save to keep us ahead. Right at the end of the game, I score a second. So now we're moving into the 2010s with PES 2010. I'm playing as Australia again, and this time we're against Russia. The legend that is Tim Cahill comes good, as I hoped he would, stealing the ball off the goalie and putting it into the empty net. A second soon follows with a back post finish. A third doesn't come, but I hit both posts within 5 seconds of each other. The further I get into this, the easier it is becoming because these are the most recent games, I'm so scared of having to go all the way back to the start. PES 11 crashed my PS3. Not a great start. For this one, I randomly got Bordeaux to play against Wales. There's some strange stuff going on with the textures in the replays for this one. I definitely play this on my PS3, this is not emulation. There was also the auto kickoff thing which I found annoying. This one definitely feels a touch different and must have marked a change in gameplay for the series. I'm taken into extra time, but Wendell becomes a super sub, and I score another from a corner. PES 2012. Oof. I managed to score a great goal and take a 1-0 victory. PES 2013, well, I got Zenit for this one and scored an unreal corner routine. Second half, I went 2 up with this cheeky reverse pass to a tap in. PES 2014 is our final PS3 game. I score early from an unlikely angle and should score immediately after to make it 2. They level up, but it's fortunately offside. So after I play a wonderful 1-2, we take a 2-goal lead. Something I do notice with this game is the frame rate drop when celebrations are happening. PES 2015 takes us into the PS4 era. I pick Mulder and I'm against Peru, who nearly take the lead early on. We immediately counter and also should score. What a start to the game. I do manage to take the lead moments later, and Peru never really threatened me throughout, so I tick off PES 2015 with a 1-0 win. In PES 2016, I have to play against the World Classic 11. It's a tight game that I take the lead in during the second half via a header. Soon after though, Classics level with this outrageous goal. The game goes to extra time, and from kickoff, I manage to get the ball near their box. Some sloppy defending leads to a scrappy goal for me. In the final moments, they have a corner, but we withstand the pressure and complete PES 2016. In PES 2017, I end up playing as Union Santa Fe, and there's a slight kit clash going on here. My bad. That's probably why it takes till nearly half time for me to get the ball on the left-hand side, whipping across that is headed in beautifully. We dominate the rest of the game and manage to score again. For PES 2018, I randomly draw MC Blue White, which is Lorca FC, against Chelsea. This one could be tough. Early in the game though, I cross from the right hand side and a diving header by Garcia sees me take the lead. And right before half time, I manage to double the lead. Chelsea come out as strong and eventually Morata slots the ball home to give them a chance. But I hold on and we move on to 2019. In PES 2019, I'm playing as Sovatov on the random draw against the Ivory Coast. It doesn't take long for me to grab the lead. A defensive error later in the game allows me to double the lead, and that's enough to win the game. PES 2020 now, and I'm so close to completing this challenge. Should I lose and have to start over, I think I might cry. I used the Euro 2020 mode for this one, and it's a Scandinavian fixture as I take Norway versus Denmark. This means I get to use Haaland from his Dortmund era, and it is Haaland who runs rampant over Denmark to lead me to a 2-0 victory. I'm playing as Volograd versus Inter Milan on PES 2021, so again, this could be a difficult game, and a risk of me having to start this challenge over from the beginning. Early in the game, I nearly score a worldie, but it leads to a scrappy tap-in. From that point on, Inter Milan never really threatened with Lukaku, and we head into the final game of this challenge. So we're into eFootball now, and I play this game regularly still, so this should be the moment that we complete the challenge. I pick Antalyaspor to go up against Nakhon Pathom on a snowy day. I score a lovely variety of goals for my biggest win of the video, which makes sense. As I said, this is the current version of the series, and I play this game pretty regularly still. I tried for a stunning 6th, but we didn't need it, as I finished the challenge, taking 7 attempts to complete. He's done it! Hope you enjoyed this PES challenge video. If you did, please do drop a like. If I get a decent amount of likes and views on this video, I'll consider doing more. And make sure to subscribe to see more of my sports games that I cover here on Welcome to Gaming. And make sure to watch this video next.